Alright guys, this is Jose here. This is my first official audio basketball podcast that I'm doing. It's called Full Court TV. So welcome to the first edition, first episode of Full Court TV. We're going to be talking about basketball all the time, 24/7 here. So first order of business, Derrick Rose traded to the Knicks. And for me, Derrick Rose had to leave Chicago. The Rose era was over after the second knee injury. Out of the 7 years he's been in the league, he's had one really good season, and that's the 10-11 season, in which he shot 45% from the field and averaged 25 points, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists. I still say to this day LeBron should have won it, and I'm not even saying it because I'm biased, because I am a huge LeBron fan, but that was the year LeBron went to Miami. Everyone hated him. So the next good guy in everyone's eyes was D Rose. But even in the FIBA tourney, Rose didn't look good. He looked average. I don't know what he's going to do for New York, but I don't see how this is going to work with him over there, with Melo being ball heavy and Porzingis in the mix. And now they don't have an inside presence with Lopez gone. So here's to hoping they're going to get not Robert Lopez, Joakim Noah from Chicago, because Derrick Rose is heavily recruiting him. And if they don't get him, they don't get anybody in a free agency, well, they might have to start Kyle O'Quinn at the 5. And Derrick Rose, his numbers are okay. He's not a big rebounder for a point guard. He's only averaging 3 rebounds for his career and 6 assists. And 6 assists ain't really gonna get you far in the NBA as far as elite point guards, top point guards. So I don't know. What he does in New York remains to be seen. And Jeff Teague, I think that was a great pickup for Indiana, depending on what Paul George does, of course. If he stays in Indiana, I think Jeff Teague is going to be a great addition to the Pacers. Smart move by Larry Bird. Nothing wrong with George Hill. He's a great ball defender, but you gotta produce a lot more offensively, I guess. Jeff Teague can do it offensively and defensively. I always liked Jeff Teague. He was a solid player in Atlanta. He's a great leader. Put up good numbers. And so we'll see how he does. Jeff Teague, start point guard. Then you got Monte Ellis, Paul George. And we'll see what is going to happen in their front court, who they're going to pick up in a free agent, because I know Ian Mahinmi's a free agent. So, and ESPN reported Serge Ibaka was limited in Oklahoma, it baffled me, because he came in the league playing center, premier defender, shot blocker, you name it. We know he did it all defensively. Serge Ibaka, the surge protector, whatever you want to call him, he did it. Then out of nowhere, he worked on his offensive game and he became a stretch 4. Like, you can't beat that. James Harden was gone. They needed a third scorer, a third option, and he became a stretch 4. He's hitting threes now. He's got the mid-range going. This past season, he shot the 3 at 32%, which is more than Marco Bellinelli, who's a prominent three-point shooter. He's known as a three-point shooter and is a former three-point contest winner. Monte Ellis, and just a shade under known three-point shooters like Jamal Crawford, Danilo Gallinari, Danny Green, and Kevin Love. So it's not bad for someone who's 6'10", 245 pounds, shooting 32%, and he's just building. He's still got ways to go, but I'll take it. Look, if Russell was giving it to him, and he's hitting the 3, I'll do it too. So I think he's gonna work out in Orlando. It's a great pickup by them. His numbers may not show it, but he can easily give you 10 and 10, maybe 15 and 10 on a good night. And Orlando, like I said, they're a very good young team, and alongside Gordon and Vucevic, he'll be fine. They still got Alfred Payton, who can handle the ball well, and Evan Fournier at the 2, who can create for himself, and he's a solid three-point shooter. And if you put Gordon at the 3 with this, with his athleticism, they're gonna make some noise in the East. And they might crack the top 8 to make the playoffs. So we'll see what happens there. But on to the biggest story of the summer, of course, besides the Cavs winning a historic championship. Where is Kevin Durant going? So far, I'm hearing 4 options, and there are Golden State, the Lakers, Knicks, and Miami. All, average to big markets, but I honestly can't see him staying in Oklahoma and endure any more playoff failures, losses, shortcomings. He deserves a championship. We know he deserves a championship. Kevin Durant, at one point, probably still is to this day, the second best player in the NBA in the world behind LeBron. So he deserves it. He owes nothing to Oklahoma if he does leave. He gave them his all. 3-time scoring champion, led them to the finals. I think it was in 2012. So, he if he wants to go, he has every right to. He deserves a championship. I personally would love to see him at Washington or Portland. Listen, I can't see him at Golden State. There's no way. They have enough firepower and really don't need him. They're favored to go to the finals out the West next season, so they really don't need him. It's ridiculous. The Lakers, they're too young of a team. Still have ways to go before being a playoff team. And KD should have to put himself in that position. Don't get stuck in that situation, KD. It's not worth it. New York just isn't attractive enough for him. And by attractive, I mean just the atmosphere, the environment. He's not the type. He already said he's not the type to like the city life, and he likes the peace and quiet. That's why Oklahoma was such a great fit for him. It was great for his personality, and he was expressive in that way. So the New York City life, I don't know. It's gonna have to grow on him. I doubt he's gonna go there, but and now I know New York is a big market, and it'll do great for his, for Nike and his sneakers and whatnot, and just him in general. But it's not a good fit for him. With Melo there, Melo's ball heavy, and Derrick Rose, we still got to see what he's gonna do, if he's gonna cut it or not. They got a lot going on over there, and he shouldn't be going over there. I like Miami for him, but that depends on D Wade's health. That also depends on Chris Bosh's health, if he's gonna retire or not. So, and if he does go to Miami, get rid of Joe Johnson ASAP. Joe Johnson's done. He used to be a clutch shooter, hitting game-winning shots, but it's not the same anymore. This isn't Atlanta, so I throw Washington in there, but not because it's his hometown. It's the potential in that team. They got Scott Brooks, his old coach. I know Scott Brooks is going to do great things for Washington now. John Wall, for the last 2 seasons, has been averaging a double-double consistently, along with 2 steals. Bradley Beal is a 3-point threat who can also create for himself. I know he's coming off an injury, but just give him some time and he'll get back to his own self. You got Marcin Gortat down there, the Polish Hammer, solid big man. Gave him 13 and 10 last season and averaged 1.3 blocks. He was a huge player in Phoenix, played a big role for them, and Washington as well. So, and their bench is pretty solid too, with Morris down there, Kelly Oubre, Porter, Sessions is a veteran, Garrett Temple, Marcus Thornton, who's also a knockdown shooter. So coming off the bench, you got good guys coming off the bench as well. So this team can easily make the playoffs in a far run in the East with KD over there. I know injuries plagued them last season, but they're looking to bounce back this season with John Wall coming back healthy, Bradley Beal, those guys taking the time this summer to heal, let their body rest. Should be good. In Portland, what can you say about them? They took the 73-9 Warriors to 6 games. Nobody saw that coming. Their backcourt alone just about averaged 60 points. Portland, for me, is like the Wizards of the West. I love C.J. McCollum and Dame Lillard. Shout out to a good friend of mine, Dan Marshall, who's a Portland Trail Blazers fan. And we were discussing this the other day. Portland's a great team. They're a great young team. They get a couple additions, they'll be great. I think, honestly, their backcourt outplayed Golden State, even though Golden State won. But for me, their backcourt shined. Then you can see what they can do in the playoffs, in the big moment. They don't let them phase down. They made it to the playoffs the last 2 seasons as well. And with T going to Indiana and Portland, can try and get Al Horford or Dwight Howard. Ooh, Dwight Howard on the other hand, desperately needs a point guard. I think Dame Lillard will be a great addition for him. Because that's been his decline in playing. I think his best years were in Orlando with Jameer Nelson. Like, seriously. So he really needs a point guard. He went to the Lakers, who really didn't have a point guard, and an already injury-prone and declined Steve Nash, who averaged 6.7 assists, his lowest since the 99-2000 season at Dallas. If Portland or Washington can attract some names or potential stars, KD might go. But that's just my opinion. So, there you have it. That's all for now on Full Court TV. Check back in tomorrow for more basketball talk. And I'm only saying this because my wife loves animals. Get your dogs and cats spayed and neutered. See you.